All gravity, any day above ground, live it. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Tuesday. Um, yeah. Somebody want to explain this to me? Come on in, MAGA. We here for you. We're not gonna put you in the bosom and rub your head, but we're gonna have a conversation today. And I started this yesterday. Why do y'all just look at the money and never look at the details? I get it. You see Trump negotiating these deals. Most of them are frameworks anyway. They're not real deals. And you just throw these numbers out there and you say, see, he's doing a great job. And then I get to read in these deals and we're getting screwed all over the place. How is this America first? So if you saw the thumbnail in the title, Japan is the latest country to punk Trump. I brought this up a couple months ago when he was pulling the tariff crap, just throwing out numbers on people. And we showed you Japan, South Korea, and China, three countries that don't particularly like each other, deciding that they're going to do business. Okay. So this came out yesterday. Shout out to Mo.J in his Discord, because I wouldn't have seen this. Japan's $550 billion deal that MAGA was sitting there kissing ass on. Come to find out, most of it is nothing but loans. So all we're doing is taking more loan money from Japan, who was in a recession, by the way. And they're only going to be investing around $4 to $9 billion over Trump's presidency into the U.S. But you ain't got to believe me. You're going to hear it from them. Hold on, I forgot how we used the headphones yesterday. We'll just change this real fast. You got to hear this.
Japanese goods going into the U.S., including cars.
From the ACCJ's point of view, we're delighted to see this agreement concluded, and certainly want to congratulate the two governments on reaching it. In terms of the impact, we've been calling for a improvement in the import qualifications for U.S.-made automobile.
So Trump says deal made with Japan. Japanese exports to face 15% tariff. Okay. Japan to invest $550 billion in U.S. When we read the article, you'll see how much of a scam that was. And Japan to open up to U.S. cars and agriculture. Because remember, he got pissed off that they didn't want to take our rice. And for those who were here last year, I got into that debate with that person about how are we going to use rice to prop up our economy. The Japanese don't even like buying rice from America. And funny enough, when we got to that point before this deal, Japan was in a rice shortage and they just started getting out of it and they didn't import nothing. All they did was just back off on having large quantities being sold in stores. But okay.
To enter Japan, and it appears that this agreement will considerably ease those, and so we're greatly cheered by that. Of course, we've seen the reports that the agreement will also cover some increases in purchases by Japan of U.S. made equipment, including in the aircraft space. That's going to be welcome for sure.
Great. So you're going to make Boeing and McDouglas, and what the other one name? I want to say Galman. I think I probably said that wrong, but you're making them money. How does that help the American people? Okay.
Overall, the increased confidence in the framework for bilateral economic relations going forward
Framework.
has been secured now. And so I think that will give businesses the opportunity to plan that they've lacked in recent months.
You mentioned the auto sector, and of course, we do have the $550 billion fund to make investments into the United States, more rice purchases from Japan, from the United States. Are there any particular sectors that you're watching for more increased cooperation between the two sides?
Well, one area that hasn't been directly addressed yet, it appears, is pharmaceuticals. And there are two aspects of this. As you just indicated, the new fund will reportedly include pharmaceutical investments by Japan into the United States. So that's certainly welcome. On the other side, for U.S. exporters,
Wait a minute. Hold on one second. We don't need that right now. Wait a minute. Pharmaceuticals. Why is he buying all these pharmaceuticals? You got American companies that can produce, right? Shouldn't you be giving them the investment to fix their supply chain so they can start producing? I just want to know.
to Japan of pharmaceuticals. We're still looking forward to seeing the results of U.S. government's investigations into the pricing situation for those, because of concerns that American innovation isn't being sufficiently rewarded here in the Japanese market. So we'll certainly be watching.
Okay, sir, Chris, why would a foreign power want to take our pharmaceuticals? Why? If they can produce it themselves, why would they take it from us? Maybe you forgot this, but the whole world watched us with C-19 and they weren't impressed. Again, this is why I keep telling y'all Trump does not know how to navigate this post-pandemic world.
That. Beyond that, one of our big concerns is certainly going to be the services sector. In his first term, the president concluded a groundbreaking agreement on digital services. That's an area where the U.S. Enjoys quite significant export surpluses with Japan, and so it's important to continue to focus on that area to ensure that overall the U.S. and Japan trade balance moves forward in the right direction.
How is the sort of level of business confidence more broadly? Because this certainly removes a big element of uncertainty, but of course we're also going into a phase where there's likely to be a leadership transition and quite a bit of domestic political change.
I think you've seen the response from the market, both in Japan, where the Nikkei was up 3.5% yesterday, and hitting its highest point in a year. And of course, in the U.S., the market has hit a new record. So
Right. Yeah, y'all played that yesterday, and now yesterday, bam. All those gains that they had during the day based on the US-EU deal, they backtracked. Same thing happened in Japan when he announced the Japan deal. It was up, and then the next day it plummeted. Yeah. Okay.
So I think that demonstrates that overall business is welcoming this agreement. I would add that from our viewpoint here in Japan, that the obvious and palpable strengthening of the U.S.-Japan overall relationship, to include the security relationship, is also a key aspect of this agreement. And so we're very much welcoming that. You've referenced possible political uncertainty in Japan. And of course, yesterday there were apparently mistaken media reports that Prime Minister Ishiba was preparing to step down, but he's vigorously denied that. And we'll see, in fact, going forward, whether there is going to be that political uncertainty or not. But I think for the moment, it appears that the two sides still need to work on some of the details of implementation of this new agreement, which is really quite a broad one. And therefore, I think we can expect a certain amount of continuity, at least in the immediate days ahead.
It certainly has been some time since we've seen that revolving door the period of leadership in Japan, right? Christopher, what's the sort of level of investment conviction that you're seeing amongst your membership? Because obviously in a lot of other markets we've seen, even if tariffs are still up for negotiation, the private sector is sort of making its own choices and also paralyzed from making investment choices because of the ongoing uncertainty.
Well, I would say that there is a new level of enthusiasm for the Japan market on the part of American investors in general.
They're not going to buy nothing. Oh, Lord. They get the Apple products before we do. They not finna come. This American delusion it's crazy, but you know, gotta be deluded sometimes.
There is clearly the last election has in part demonstrated that a desire to see change in Japan. We already know that the Japanese corporate world has been working steadily, I would say, on improving corporate governance. And we're seeing increased attention by American investors in the cutting edge, potential new breakthroughs in industry here in Japan. So I think we'll...
He says a lot of us.
continue to see Japan be an extremely valuable, important focus for U.S. investors going forward. We're fortunate here in Japan. We have a great new ambassador, George Glass, who's got a proven track record of support and has committed certainly to continuing to support American business here in Japan. He has a great team of experts from state and
How many us you gonna push?
yeah. So we're pretty confident that we're going to see continued and of opportunities here for U.S. business in Japan.
Well, you didn't want to leave it off with another Jesus. All right. So here's the article from yesterday. Yoshiaki Nohara. Japan expects only 1 to 2% of its recently agreed upon 550 billion U.S. fund to be deployed as investment, with loans making up the bulk of the rest, according to the nation's top chief negotiator, Ryosei Akazawa. Meanwhile, Tokyo stands to save roughly 10 trillion or 68 billion U.S. through lower tariff rates in its deal with the U.S., Akazawa told public broadcaster NHK on Saturday. The details revealed by Akazawa suggest the Japanese may end up giving up much less than at first glance. But your favorite influencer ain't gonna tell you this. The $550 billion investment framework, not a deal, because they didn't sign this, combines investments, loans, and loan guarantees provided by financial institutions backed by the Japanese government, Akazawa said. Of the total, investment will comprise 1 or 2%, and the U.S. and Japan will split the profits of that investment at a ratio of 90 to 10, he said. Japan had originally proposed a 50-50 ratio, he added. So basically, you take this 1%, put it here, you're talking about conservatively what? About $5.5 to $11 billion. That's the investment. And the 90-10, okay, so America is going to get about $4 to $9 billion over the course of this deal. Hell of an investment. The fund is a centerpiece of the deal announced by the two sides that will impose 50% tariffs on Japanese cars and other goods. Officials from Japan and other countries that struck deals with the U.S. are now sifting through the terms to explain them to the public. It is not $550 billion in cash that will be sent to the U.S., Akazawa said. By letting the U.S. have 90% of the profits rather than 50%, I think Japan's loss will be at most a couple of tens of billions of yen. People are saying various things such as, you sold out Japan, but they're wrong. For the loans provided through the program, Japan will collect interest payments. Now, this is important. And for loan guarantees, if nothing happens, Japan will collect fees, Akazawa said. For that part, Japan's just making money. Do y'all realize Akazawa just said we're funding their end of their recession? That's basically what this deal is. We're paying for the home stretch for them to end their recession. Oh, God. Akazawa also clarified that the investment program won't be only supporting Japanese and U.S. firms. As a potential example, he cited a Taiwanese semiconductor firm building a factory in the U.S. We'd like to put the $550 billion in place during President Trump's term, Akazawa added. The Japan side has cited JBIC and NEXI as the government-backed organizations that will be leading financing for the projects. For JBIC, in the year ended March, around 77% of its assets were in loans and 6.6% in loan guarantees. Further details of the implementation of the U.S.-Japan deal remain unclear, including when the new tariff rates will take effect and when the new investment vehicle will kick off. There's been no joint document signed by both sides for the deal, although the White House has published a fact sheet. And we actually went over that and found out that it was full of shit. But, this is just confirmation. Because they know that base is so dumb, they're not going to figure this out. They're just going to, like I say, see the money, and that's it. They think it's all cash. But remember, when Biden and them were sending money and weapons over to Ukraine, they made sure to scrutinize the money. If you say something like, let's create a joint document, they will say, we'll lower tariffs after the document is created, Akazawa said. In order to not lose time, we will demand that they issue an executive order to lower tariffs as soon as possible, regardless of a document. That is some gangster shit right there. You're not going to wait till we sign this and then screw us later. They said we want something on the law books now. That is... Woo! But again, Japan don't finish deals, but that's some gangster shit to tell them. Come on, Trump, you about to punk us over some 4 to 9 billion, 5 to $11 billion. You about to punk us? Oh my Lord, I love it. But okay. Last week, Akazawa says he expects universal tariffs on Japan's shipments to be lowered to 15% on August 1st, which is in 3 days. He said he wanted the car tariffs to be cut to 15% as soon as possible without specifying a date. The Trump administration has touted the deal with Japan as a potential model for others. On Sunday, the U.S. and the European Union agreed on a deal that will see the bloc face 15% tariffs on most of its exports, with the EU pledging to invest $600 billion in the U.S. So they're only going to pay what? So their investment is going to be 1 to 2%, $6 to $12 billion, with a 90-10 ratio split, Okay. So we get nothing. Oh, man. And they actually praise this. We're talking about Japan, not the EU. I need you to keep up. Thank you so much. Oh my God, why is he talking about the EU when we're talking about Japan? Damn. Read the room, person. Thank you so much. Let's see, break in. Japan stated that of the 550 billion Trump claimed as investment commitments from Japan into the U.S., only 1 to 2% are actual investments. The remaining 98% of loans to the U.S. at full market value. Trump misled the American people. Damn, that's crazy. Yes, correct me. We already said that it wasn't signed. Next. I don't know what you're talking. Somebody's crashing out. I don't know why, but okay. Did you fact check Biden this much? Jesus Christ. What did Biden do to y'all? God damn. Oh, wow. They're talking about this deal. You bring up Biden. What do you mean Trump didn't negotiate this? Then that's bad. Wait a minute. If he didn't negotiate this deal, that's bad. How did you allow that? Did he not negotiate the EU deal? Was he not there? Since you want to bring up the EU now, was he not there? That deal was terrible, and I went over it yesterday. But, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Since we're talking about the Japan deal, that money's coming straight from the government. So go ahead and tell me how bad of a deal that is for Japan when they just said they're going to be making money off of it by putting us further in debt and us fueling their recession to end. Tell us how this is a great deal. Go ahead. And he should fire his trade team if they negotiated that. This is a gift article for the New York Times. It's about the last living Japanese soldiers of World War II. They were boys when they fought us. Now they are very old men. Before they died, they want to tell us how horrific and foolish the war is. Okay, great. That's not what they're talking about. Japan is not investing 550 into the U.S. in Trump's direction and then giving 90% of the profits to the U.S. Okay. Somebody's, never mind. We're gonna let him talk. Never mind. Oh man, MAGA, why are y'all look at Jesse. He finna spin it. Look at him.
Scored a hat trick. He crossed 3 countries off his tariff hit list. You ready? First, it was the Philippines and Indonesia, the magic number 19.
Who are both aligned with BRICS, which meant nothing. But go ahead.
15% for both countries. And then the big one, the Japanese. 550 billion invested here and thousands of jobs created.
Oh my God. They didn't even say that. Where are these jobs? Oh Lord. But fine. Me says we should look up Trump's economic advisor. Okay, let's look him up. Let's look up this stalwart of money, since you need to know. Okay, Stephen Moran is the current chair of the Council of Economic Advisors under President Donald Trump, with Pierre Yared serving as vice chair. They provide economic advice and analysis to support the president's economic policies. Okay. You really want to know about Stephen Moran? All right. Since we want to go down that rabbit hole, family, we're going to go there. Yeah. That's why I did. That's why I was laughing all morning. That's why. Never mind. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know how we've talked about the Manhattan Institute. This is y'all. Y'all are praising the Manhattan Institute. Oh, great. Right, Paula. I have no idea what I'm talking about yet. I just read the article and we played a video from someone that works over there in Japan who sat there in front of those two Japanese women and lied about that deal. We didn't just read an article from the trade ambassador over there in Japan who laid out the details. You're right. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, got it. You're really about to put up Stephen Moran as somebody who knows what they're talking about. Okay. Never. I thought he hated Harvard. I thought Harvard was full of DEI people. Why is he allowing this? Okay, but fine. There you go. Trump is enlisting our future and our kids' future to somebody in Harvard who he said is full of woke people. All right. Cool. Back to Jesse.
And they'll be paying a 15% rate. Turns out
Which is not going to cost them nothing, but, you know. Go ahead.
Toyota tariffs work.
I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with Japan.
You just put us more in debt, sir. They control more of our debt now. Damn.
And that was done with Japan. They had their top people here, and we worked on it long and hard, and it's a great deal for everybody. I always say.
It's really not, sir. They were laughing on the playback. That sake was flowing. The body sushi was immaculate. They were laughing.
It has to be great for everybody. It's a great deal. A lot different from the deals in the past, I can tell you that. But we're doing really well as a country. We're strong. We have a lot of money flowing in.
We're really about to get carved up by Asia. That's crazy. All right. Here we go. Trump announced the United States signed a massive trade deal with Japan that will result in billions to the U.S. economy. The truth, Japan officials denied any written deal signed and no legally binding deal would be created. All smoke and mirrors. Japanese officials said there was no written agreement with Washington and no legally binding one would be drawn up after Trump administration officials claimed Tokyo would back investments in the U.S. from which American taxpayers would reap 9/10 of the profits. Oh, my God. Yet he let SoftBank drop $100 billion, and again, we know the Japanese don't follow through on their deals because that's not the first time SoftBank said we were going to invest in America and then they reneged out within a year or two. But you know, MAGA ain't going to tell you that. Your favorite influencer ain't going to tell you that. I know it's not sexy to bring that up, but you know, you got to know. MJ Truth Ultra. These frog-faced fools, they dumb. We're not even gonna read that. Would this be? Japan just agreed to invest $550 billion in the U.S. Oh Lord, here we go. He's gonna explain this.
I think it does change the trade surplus because one, by having more
Hudson is, oh God. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. Wait a minute. This is who they're putting up to oh no. Never mind. We're gonna go down the road on that one day. Never mind. Not today. I don't have the energy for that today. The Hudson Institute now. Oh man, they just all coming out the woodwork. All these institutes and think tanks are all coming outside.
Japanese investments in the United States, it bolsters the American trade balance sheet. The other point that I'll raise is that Japanese government as well as Japanese industry have been sort of raising this recently, which is instead of having us pay these tariffs, why not let us use these tariffs that we would pay as investments in the United States, right? Let's put this would-be tariff monies to use as investments in the United States. Now, I am still short on details of the exact parameters of the $550 billion investment in the United States, but I would suspect that certainly there was some calculation as to why don't we shift it from tariffs into much more productive and growing approaches of investing in the United States. And I think that probably was also helpful in the negotiations as well.
Yeah, well, that didn't work because you said this on July 23rd, and here we are on the 29th, and we figured out what the deal was. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm gonna save this. That looks interesting. Let's see. Trump Japan deal makes zero sense. They're giving the U.S. $500 billion out free money for 50% tariffs. Well, it's not free money. After a historic trade deal with Japan, President Trump just secured an incredible trade tariff investment deal with the arrogant EU. And I guarantee you he didn't go over that deal yesterday. I guarantee you he didn't. But, okay. Here we go. July 24th.
They gave us $550 billion because they didn't want to pay 20.
They're not giving you $550 billion. Jesus Christ. And he sat there on TV and said that. He really think they finna ship an entire tanker full of money to his doorstep. Or he gonna get some big ass wire transfer. You're not getting cash, sir. This is not liquid assets. But okay.
They were 28%, and they gave us $550 billion up front. 100%, 500. We get 90, they get 10. 90%, they get 10. And there's no payment. It's not a loan or anything. It's
They literally just said in the article it was a loan. They literally said that. But again, this was July 24th. We didn't even know the details yet. But go ahead.
It's a signing bonus, I call it.
A signing bonus.
$50 billion and took down the tariffs a little bit, and then they agreed to open their economy to everybody. This was not easy. This took, a lot of people walked. Well,
sir, you just gave them free range to say no. Just because I open my store to you don't mean I got to service you. Jesus. Okay. Japan is a vassal state of the U.S. and is only successful because of the U.S. I mean, shout out to Chocolate Jello Pud, but, we found out. U.S. automakers say they were screwed over in Trump's Japan trade deal. July 25th. Trump promised to help American manufacturing, but his trade deal with Japan breaks that promise, favoring Japanese automakers over them, and yet another reneging on the president's so-called America First agenda. I mean, we figured this. We actually figured this out months ago, but Lifter Dave, I'm not a liberal, but I figured that. I figured that you had nothing else to contribute, so that's the best you can do. Yeah. It actually would have been funny if I told you that I was actually a conservative, which I'm not. And I don't like this deal. But, And I know in between your comments, it took that long for your brain to fire off that response. I understand. Now, I know this is going to take you about 10 minutes, but tell us why this is such a good deal. Go ahead. This should be interesting. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? I always forget to ask that. Come on. Come on, lifter. Come on. I know you're probably doing sets right now. It's okay. You can put down the barbells a little bit. Come on. Tell us how this is a great deal. Shouldn't be that hard. Journalist opinion pieces. Here we go. Your stocks. Yeah, how's your stocks going today? I just want to know. How they going? All right. All right. Shout out to your stocks. You might want to call up your people. Oh, it's higher than ever. Okay. Let's hope that stays like that next week when them reports come out and don't crater. Let's just hope. Look, now we're in a pissing contest on how high the stock market is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Come on, meathead lifter. Come on. Tell me how this is a great deal. Go ahead. He literally announced that deal, and then by the end of the day, we're talking about the EU deal, and at the end of the day, it went under. But okay. All right. Let me guess. If it craters next week, you're going to say it was the liberals' fault, right? All right. Us taking more money in debt from Japan so we can finance them. That's a good deal. They said it right here. Loans. 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 They don't even know how this works, but I get it. I get it. The GDP growth, sir, the GDP is projected to lose 0.5%. The fuck is you talking about? Man, y'all really not paying attention. Oh, let me guess. He said it was gonna go up, right? Okay. All right. All right. What? The economy is not booming, sir. Where are y'all getting this from? Who's telling you this? How is the economy booming? Oh no, I can't believe this. The economy is booming. Okay. They got it, family. We not seeing it. The economy is booming. Okay. Sir, I've contributed way more than you have. Okay. Just because you sit in your house in front of 3 screens trying to play the tax game and the stock game, you not out here. Okay? Please, miss me. You're not working in them sectors. You're not out here watching people struggle. And you want to tell me that the economy is booming. Ooh, great. So you were outside painting a house. Wonderful. Wonderful. Your success story is not the encompassing of everything that's going on out here. People are really struggling. Sir, that's the best you got? Basement? Come on, white man. Come on. You could do a lot better than that. Maybe it's the paint fumes. You can't think right. Come on. You could do a little better. I made investments. Your investments could die today. Then what? You're going to call up your advisor and be like, yo, what the hell happened? He ain't going to have no answer for you. He done made his money already. I invested in semiconductors. Okay. Guess what? First off, you don't even know where they are. Number two, them semiconductors are probably with Taiwan. They're trying to prop up Malaysia. If Malaysia gets propped up, your semiconductor investment goes in the toilet. Then what? You're going to come back and brag to me about that? In the same article we just read, they said it might help Taiwan. They're not even checking for them. They're checking for Malaysia. You have indicator after indicator after indicator after indicator telling you that we're going to probably hit a recession by the winter. But the stock market is up. Yeah, the last time we had a recession, the stock market was up. Oh, there's no, oh Lord. Millions of trade jobs? Okay. And why is there millions of, go ahead, haha, tell us why there's millions of trade jobs. Go ahead, tell us why. Go ahead. Because it's funny, years ago, I was telling everybody go into trades and I was getting shouted down. Now all of a sudden, everybody talking about trades jobs like it's trendy. Okay. All right. But that's okay. We get it. Y'all want to praise Trump. Trump is fucking y'all. But y'all, there's some money coming in. So they're going to excuse it. We understand. Sir, I am thinking long term. Hey, maybe you don't know this, Lifter. I've been talking about this for the last 4 years. I already told my people 3 years ago to adjust. They're in here. They'll tell you. That's why they aren't complaining. That's why I'm not complaining. I'm laughing at y'all. I gave them the history during the election cycle of Trump running around talking about he was going to make all these deals. And I'm like, where? You were gone for 4 years. These countries moved on. They knew they had to set themselves up. They had to not rely on the US. And that's what they did. Why do you think he came out on the campaign trail talking about y'all not going to get rid of the petrodollar and you're not going to replace the US dollar as the reserve currency? He knew that was coming. He had no plan to stop it. That's why these tariffs, that's why he threw them numbers out there like that. That's the only reason. And the country still said, we good. And like Japan did, okay, we're going to give you investment, but it's just going to be loans. So we're going to put you further in debt. You're going to help us. Talking about they building plants. Okay. We've seen the Japanese build plants here and then they stopped. Japan wants to invest in us so much, they went to go invest in South Korea and went to go do deals with China, their sworn enemy. But they want to invest in us. Again, since y'all missed it, there you go. They told you. This is the Japanese telling you. It ain't somebody that's just some leftist. That's the Japanese trade negotiator. But okay. Oh, look. Crit wrote TDS. Oh, let's give him a hand clap. He wrote 3 letters correctly next to each other with no spaces. Oh. And you got Trump fellatio syndrome. Shout out to the white boy who said it. At least I can curse that man to his face on standing on my feet. You coming in here with your custom knee pads, trying to show him how much of a MAGA flunky you are. That's crazy. Y'all following around a white man who don't even know your name. Ha. Do you understand what the problem is with what you just said? Okay, I don't know how old you are, but guess what? They tried that in the 80s. And what happened? Everybody was running around investing in the stock market. Nothing else was being produced. Everybody was just running around because people said, hey, invest in this stock, invest in this. This is going to hit this high. I had all these people telling you bullshit. What happened in 87? You had a stock market crash. That's where we're heading. Why are you bringing up Kamala Harris? Jesus Christ. Kamala Harris was an idiot. So on a ballot, you had 2 idiots and 4 other people in a line where you could write anything in there and you picked an idiot. Cool. Which idiot do you want running your country? Okay, I'll take the white idiot. Cool. And now he sat there and took money from the Japanese. That's just going to add to the national debt. And they're going to get out of their recession. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Crit, don't talk about yourself like that. We don't keep self-esteem people that think like that. We don't keep low self-esteem around here. So you go somewhere. I mean, you really do have low self-esteem. You couldn't even finish writing critical. You need to go rectify that with yourself. Great. Fine, haha. She slept her way to the top. So what? So did Hillary. So what? So did Trump. So what? He slept his way to the top. It's okay. Your politicians are whores. Trump bent over so he could be president in his case that he got the 34 felonies on. He bent over. It's okay. We get it. I don't know what you said. You might have to rewrite that sentence. I don't know what that means. It's funny. Y'all love talking about y'all have all this morality and stuff, and you elected somebody that's been married 3 times. That's crazy. But that's all right. Yes, we know he didn't make that deal. We went over it the other day. We know he didn't make that deal. They need everybody in the EU to sign off on that. All you need is one person is like, nah, we good. Deal don't go through. Then what? He gonna put tariffs on them? Great. They don't gotta open up nothing. They'll still make money. That's what they're forgetting. But all right. Go ahead. Yell out MAGA again. Go ahead. Make America gullible again. It's a nasty word. Told you, this is one of the criticisms I have with MAGA. They just saw the money and never said, okay, you know what? Let me go look at the details. It's the same thing we saw when I went over the Middle East deal. All you saw was $1 trillion. You didn't see that they were going to have access to AI. They were going to have access to our data. And they turned on people that brought it up. Marjorie Taylor Greene brought that up. They turned on her. It's crazy. Look, Japan agreed to a $400 billion trade deal. This is July 22nd with the United States, and then Trump was apparently able to upsell them to a $500 billion deal. Peep the annotating. What? Okay, great. And what was that? Let's see if anybody updated him, because maybe he don't know. No one can turn him down. Hey, you gonna pay our debt? Who would turn down getting their debt paid off? Who would turn it down? What? Do you see what HaHa just wrote, family? You think Obama, Hillary Clinton, and James Comey are sweating? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You couldn't be talking about the same Obama. There's got to be a different one. This definitely got to be a different one. You mean the same one at Jimmy Carter's funeral? Where they were laughing and yucking it up? This one? You think he's worried? Wait a minute. They were sitting there having a whole conversation, pissed off old Kamami. She looked back and saw them laughing. She was like, what the f? He talking about this dude is worried. This dude? The man who threw indigenous people off their land in Hawaii to build his mansion? This dude? Mr. Fast and Furious himself? Mr. AP scandal? You think he's worried about Trump launching some investigation over him spying on his campaign in 2016. Him. The way he had this man's name in his mouth for years. He should have had the warrant out for his arrest the day he said it. This guy. Them sitting here laughing, and we kind of find out they were talking about Trump trying to get into a golf course that that Obama belongs to. And I think it's actually down here in Georgia. This is the dude he said is worried. Oh, man. Yes, Hunter's laptop had all of that in there, and MAGA was too stupid to know how to use it. And he got off with a pardon. How about that? And everybody, including the left, killed Biden for doing that. But yeah, you okay? Yeah, Trump come outside and say, "Hey, he got presidential immunity." Okay. Then I got MAGA over there talking about some. Oh, we should strip that away. I'm like, do you understand what you're doing and what you're saying? He does that. That means Trump is now open to everything as well. Is that where we're going to go down? But okay. Y'all were the same ones screaming 2 years ago that he had immunity to keep those files. Now you want to take away somebody else's immunity? What do you think that's going to happen to every president that's still living? I mean, I would be open to it. Everybody got to pay for their crimes, especially W with no child left behind. They all got to pay. But we know they ain't going to do nothing. Y'all just talking. He said, this is the dude that is worried. Look at him. Look at him. I don't even know who channel this is. Shout out to him. Look at it.
Thank you so much. And
look at him sitting there laughing it up, boy.
Their, former president.
I don't even want to hear you. Look at him laughing it up. Talking. Look at the smile on Troy. He happy as hell, boy. Oh my God. Look at this. The man can't even negotiate a deal to release the Epstein stuff. Watch, he gonna hit. Watch. He just passed Trump. Get some. Oh my God, no. He said, "Hey, pussy." He's like, "I'm finna sit right here." Hey, fam, who was here that day when we went over that video and we were laughing our asses off? Look at that. Look, and he went right back to start laughing. And he said he worried. That's crazy. But again, what have we learned today? Trump just screwed us again. Trump is an Asia lover. He gave Asia, based on what we've seen, Asia is about to extract $2 trillion away from us. Damn near. That's crazy. Talking about $600 rebate checks. What? Keep it, because you're going to tax us on it anyway. Keep it. And MAGA over there talking about, yeah, let's do that. No. MAGA-style anti-globalist politics arise in Japan. There you go. There's our export to Japan. Get some. Get some. MAGA will cheer the feds pulling funding from California's high-speed rail because hating California is the point, but this is the opposite of making America great again. I've taken trains in China and Japan. They're in the 21st century. We're still tinkering with toy train sets. Come on now. Look, President Trump stuns the world by announcing a massive deal with Japan. It's not a deal, it's a framework. Perhaps the largest deal ever made. He's a master negotiator. Look at this. This is that's worth 550 billion right there. Bro, we're gonna use this. We're gonna use that. This is wonderful. This is what you voted for? More debt? Say less. This is what happens when you put a businessman in the office? Huh? Excuse me? Okay. Look, it's nothing but blue checks in here. Look at this. It's nothing but blue checks. Look at this. Yes, that was a train to nowhere, but I mean, goddamn. Come on, Trump. Where's the MAGA bullet train? Where is it? That's crazy. He's so smart and really loves our country. He's really not. Hey, it's National Lasagna Day. Who cares? Yeah. Anyway. Islamophobia, we don't care. What's this? Even the fake news reporter can believe how good Trump's trade deal with the European is. Oh, Lord. Listen, if y'all haven't figured out that der Leyen was looking out for Germany, I don't know what to tell y'all. After Trump bent Ursula von der Leyen over in front of the whole world, China stuck her on an airport charter bus like she's traveling on EasyJet. Okay. And? Oh, man. No, the only Trump song I like is the one where he said he was deporting them Cubans. He said, I will vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, I hope y'all say that on the aeroplane while they send you back home. All right. Because we told y'all he was going to screw y'all after that election if he got in. And y'all said, no, Donald Trump is going to look out for us. Yeah, he's going to look as you have to put up your business for sale in your home. Now y'all out here crying. Talking about black people help us. No, we good. We saw how you treated black people in goddamn Miami. Now we good. Anyway, y'all. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I see you when I see you. I got some things down in the pipe that y'all gonna like. Gotta go record that video about that Cincinnati brawl. And yeah, we're gonna do that. Somebody hit me to a documentary yesterday that we're gonna watch, this one about the Coors family out in Colorado, and we're gonna have fun. Anyway, y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.